It's been a wild ride the last 3 years, and we've seen, as evidenced by the survey results, and more importantly, our own experience with our friends, relatives, and our children. As a parent myself, I've seen my own children go through challenges and struggles. So the district pursued as much support as they already offer. They believed there's more to be done. And so they implemented the Student Life Advisor Wellbeing Program in January. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of what those services are. Next slide. So we provide counseling. We have all licensed master's or doctorate level counselors that work with different age groups of children, parents, families. It's short-term counseling in nature. We also provide crisis intervention 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So even when school is not in session, there's still support for parents and their families as it relates to their student. As you've seen and heard, there's a tremendous amount of resources available for students, but as a parent, we don't really think about those until we need it. And what's occurred over the last 3 years during the pandemic is many of these statistics we've heard before, but now more importantly than ever, we've experienced it again amongst our own families. And when we experience those types of challenges, it becomes more real to us. And so we really don't know where those resources are. The Student Life Advisor program can help with that. And then we have a tremendous portal. So we're high touch as well as high tech. And if you know your students, they carry their computer with them called a smartphone 24 hours a day, and in some cases actually sleep with it. So we have a tremendous amount of resources and information available. So why call as a parent? So it may be that you notice your child is becoming withdrawn, maybe more defiant, struggling in some way, just seemingly out of sorts. And there's a pattern that begins to develop. And us parents have kind of a spidey sense, right? We know, even though things aren't maybe being said, and maybe our teenagers or our middle schoolers or even our elementary students really don't share their feelings and what's going on. You hear common things like, "How was your day today?" And you'll hear fine, good, or sometimes just a groan. And so those are age appropriate responses, but as a parent, you begin to notice that things have changed a little. Your student is impacted. Perhaps there's something going on in the family. Maybe there's a divorce that is going on, or there's conflict in the family some way. Maybe a parent has an issue at work or what have you, and there's additional strain and tension within the family. Maybe it's a grandparent who's come down sick or ill, and it's again added additional stress. Certainly what we've seen during the pandemic is there's been more deaths than any time in the normal period of our lives. And although that's lessening, we're still not out of the woods yet, so to speak. Slide. So what can you do? You can call a student life advisor consultant. These are degreed behavioral health specialists, and they can support you. They can provide information about what the program consists of. It's confidential. That's protected by state and federal laws. So the privacy of your family is the utmost importance to us, and we take that very seriously. And we're available 24 hours a day. And there's an easy 1-800 number, toll free, and you can reach a counselor who can talk to you about your particular situation, or your child can reach out as well. Children that are 14 years or older are able to contact us directly and receive support. Under 14, they are required parental permission, and so we would seek that out. Next slide. So what type of counseling do we do? It's short term, it's solution focused. And what I mean by solution focused is many counseling models stem back into somebody's very early childhood, things of that nature. We look at an issue in a very cognitive way and say, okay, what is occurring now? What is the root cause? What has been helpful? What hasn't been helpful? If you woke up in 6 months from now and your life was different, what would that look like? So solution focused, we don't dwell so much on the problem, but more in terms of where you want to see things evolve to and develop. There's 1 to 5 sessions, and that's per issue. So a student could have more than one issue throughout the year. Maybe they've gone through a bad breakup. Maybe they're a junior and they have the stress of perhaps college and maintaining their grades and perhaps extracurricular activities such as sporting events, things of that nature. It seems for some reason the 11th grade year is particularly challenging. We provide in-person, telephonic, or video-based counseling and support, and licensed counselors are who conduct that support. So let's talk a little bit about the crisis intervention. This is really for emotional crisis. So the Student Life Advisor program, we're focused on the emotional well-being of your student, your child, and how to help them to cope and deal with things that maybe they're very green and they have no experience. Certainly they come to us as parents on many occasions, and hopefully we've developed that type of rapport and relationship with our child. But it still feels sometimes a little risky to do that. Maybe they don't want to disappoint a parent. So they can reach out to us and speak to a counselor immediately if there's a crisis, and simply by calling an 800 number. So let's talk a little bit about our Student Life Advisor Wellbeing Portal. You can see the URL, the website address listed here, and it's on many different promotional things that we do throughout the school year to make students and their parents aware of the services. They simply log in with their school name and the city of which their school is in, and they have access to just a ton of well-being information. Sometimes it's about healthy relationships. Sometimes it's dealing with school stress or test anxiety, things of those nature. And sometimes it's about physical well-being. Perhaps somebody wants to improve their time in their cross-country events, and they want to track their speed and accuracy, things of that nature. They can do that through a Life Advisor Wellbeing Tracker. So creating success support outside the classroom. So some of the issues that we deal with, certainly not limited to this list, but we've seen a tremendous amount of anxiety. So the statistics that were shared with us earlier are of no surprise to any of us. It's really validating for what we already suspected. Anxiety has been a huge issue, particularly before the pandemic, but certainly increased during the pandemic. We have children today that are going to be dealing with those issues in the future. Hopefully we can get back to more stable footing and it will become, a memory in the past. But emotional issues, depression, we heard a little bit about that this evening. So we are all human, and we feel different levels of anxiety, depression, stress, but we're really talking about things that are progressive and tend to get worse without intervention. School-related stress, finals certainly that I think just passed for the semester not too long ago, a tremendous amount of pressure that our students feel. It's a very competitive world out there. And my students are now graduated from college, but I can very clearly relate to when they were in high school and the pressure to achieve and the social requirements that they felt. And it was really a different time than when I grew up and went to school. And then, of course, loss or change. Even a positive thing has change and therefore stress associated. So we're there to support. So a summary of benefits, it's confidential, 24-hour access. You can call and talk to a life advisor consultant. You can call at this very moment or anytime during a holiday. We're always available for you to support. And then certainly our 800 number and our website for easy access, either through an app or a web portal.